Some of these are just legendary. Modern-day feminists have mastered the art of shouting down anyone who dares to challenge their narrative. You see, facts and logic rarely matter when emotions take over, but what happens when they come face to face with people who won't back down? Well, that's when things get really interesting. From brutal reality checks to undeniable truth bombs, some of the greatest shutdowns happen when reason meets outrage. And today we're covering some of these unforgettable moments, and trust me, watching their arguments fall flat is nothing short of satisfying. As always, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos just like this.
A new study out today that says women become unhappy as they get older. Well, the flip side, men get happier as life goes on. Now, the researchers, a couple of economists, by the way, they say it happens when we each turn 48. And of the major factors coming down, it's all about money. Now, what's that all about? We're going to debate it. Mark Rudolph is a no-nonsense man, and Tracy Burns, our Fox Business reporter, joins me to tell us what's really going on. Tracy, is this true?
Come on.
I mean, come on.
All right, first of all,
don't get me started.
I know you've missed me, Mark. First of all, this study was conducted by mostly men. And when men conduct anything, they talk about their finances because men judge themselves by the size of their wallet, toys, dare I say.
Okay, next time for some context, this was a battle between two completely opposite viewpoints, and it was pure entertainment. On one side, you had Tracy Burns, a strong advocate for feminist causes. On the other, there was Mark Rudolph, who could be best described as the OG Andrew Tate, and he wrote multiple books claiming it contained advice that helped men find, attract, and keep the women of their dreams. Now that we have that out of the way, let's continue with Tracy's shouting.
Well, I just think this whole notion of basing your happiness on material goods is part of the problem, hence part of the reason that this thing was run by men in the first place. If there were women on the panel, they would, I mean, ask any woman if she would choose her car over her children, and she'd take the kids any day, whereas I would question a lot of men out there, quite frankly.
Tracy, I can't believe what I just heard you say.
There's a reason that women live longer, Mark. Let me tell you. It is because we are stronger and we are happier at the end of the day than most men, and that is factual, and you know it.
When men are married to women who scream like you, they just want to die sooner.
I'm not screaming.
When you have women going around,
Mark, you're divorced.
Tracy,
She left you. Let's put that on the table if you want to play this game.
You know, you've lost the argument when you start turning things personal, and that's a pattern we see with a lot of these so-called feminists. The thing is, despite her bringing up his past divorce as if that somehow discredited his argument, Mark has a point. Who in their right mind would want to live with someone that speaks like they're on max volume at all times? I also love how he didn't flinch. He just sat there smiling gloriously because he had struck a nerve here, but he wasn't about to let this slide, and he dropped the ultimate one-liner that was so brutal, the producers had to cut the segment short.
Men are taught that they have to make women happy. The fact of the matter is, you can't make anybody happy. You have to make yourself happy. Happiness is a byproduct of achievement. So for women to say that they're unhappy, it's their own fault. Anybody who says he's unhappy, it's his own fault.
Mark,
everybody has to make himself or herself
You're
happy.
giving me such a bloody headache.
Yeah, I mean,
where are you from? Where are you from? Dear Lord, I would never in a million years teach my girls that they have to grow up to be reliant on a man, as you can well imagine. I would never teach my son that he should be attracted.
But Tracy, you're the same one. You're the same one who bragged that she's so strong and so tough and doesn't need a man's money. Yet you're taking alimony.
I have 3 children.
Okay, Mark.
You know what?
But you don't need a man's money.
He's straight from the Department of Common Sense, and let's just say they don't take hostages, just brutal, no-nonsense takedowns. You could hear the defeat in her voice the moment she brought up having 3 children, and let's be honest, nothing's more satisfying than watching someone realize mid-sentence that they've just lost the debate. But you know the old saying, those who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Next, we have Rachel Maddow, who clearly needs some courses on becoming a better listener.
The women in this country still make 77 cents on the dollar for what men make. So if women don't make less than men?
Actually, if you start looking at the numbers, Rachel, there are lots of reasons for that.
Wait. Well, don't tell me the reasons are. Do women make less than men for doing the same work?
No, because...
Wow.
Well, for example, men work an average of 44 hours a week. Women work 41 hours a week. Men go into professions like engineering, science, and math that earn more. Women want more flexible professions.
Listen, this is not a math is hard
No. Yes, it is, actually.
No, it isn't.
Well,
listen.
All right, let Rachel frame it, though, the way she
right now,
laid it up.
women are making 77 cents on the dollar for what men are making.
But that's not true. If so,
let Rachel make her point.
Every greedy businessman in America would hire only women, save 25%, and be hugely profitable.
I feel like this is actually, I mean, it's weird that you're interrupting me and not letting me make my point, because we get along so well. So
obviously, we're not about to waste time on Rachel's points, so drop a like because I'm saving you the agony of listening to her absurd takes. Now let's talk about Alex Castellanos. This guy has worked on multiple presidential campaigns, meaning he knows every single tactic the left loves to use, and when it comes to the so-called gender pay gap, their approach is as predictable as it is misleading. They oversimplify a complex issue, pretending that differences in career choices, work hours, experience, and personal decisions just don't exist. It's as if acknowledging nuance is completely foreign to them.
It's policy, is the argument.
It's policy, and I love how passionate you are. I wish you were as right about what you're saying as you are passionate about it. I really do.
That's really condescending.
No.
I mean, this is a stylistic issue.
I'll tell you what.
My passion on this issue
Here's a fact.
is actually me making a factual argument on it. Alex?
May I share one fact with you? When you look at, for example, single women working in America today between the ages of, I think, 40 and 64, who makes more, men or women, on average? Men make $40,000 a year. Women make $47,000. When you take out the marriage factor, look at some economics. My point here is that we're manufacturing a political crisis to get away from what this election really wants to be about.
All right, well, let me bring...
And that's the Obama strategy in this election.
All right, but let's...
Exactly. The funny thing is, Rachel claims she was being interrupted while literally talking over the guys and refusing to let him get a word in. It's almost like she knew she was about to get exposed and panicked. Alex also made a great point about Obama. His entire strategy was built on creating problems where none existed, then swooping in as the self-proclaimed expert to fix them. It worked like a charm, making him wildly popular with people who never question his narrative, but in reality, all it did was turn Americans against each other. To wrap things up, we have Jordan Peterson, helping a feminist understand why she's a complete hypocrite.
Look at what you have. Right. You live in the best society that's ever been created. You know, I was reading about some Indonesians.
Do you mean me as a woman or me as a 21st century person in the world?
I mean us, yeah.
I mean, I'm incredibly grateful for what I have, but to me the project of politics is...
construction of a tyrannical patriarchy. You're grateful for the productions of a tyrannical patriarchy. How does that make sense?
I think I'm benefiting actually from a lot of things that I don't support, that are unearned privileges in my life. I think that's absolutely true.
Like your job?
Like I have a very good job. I had a loving family. Well, I don't think that's going to do the world any good, is it?
That's a hell of a fine rationalization for your privileged position.
Oh, well, fair enough. But if
you could trade it off with someone who's less privileged, that'd be a start.
I could do that, but I don't want to, and I won't, and I don't think I should be expected to.
Why not? Is it okay for you to occupy a position of privilege in the patriarchal tyranny? And if it is it because you're female? Or is it just because it's convenient?
It's because she loves playing the morally superior act, where she lectures everyone on how they should behave and what the perfect world should look like, all while cashing in millions. It's the ultimate grift, and she's not the only one who's mastered it. I'd love to know which ones of these moments was your favorite, so let me know in the comments down below, and if you want your friends to see these epic takedowns, please share the video with them. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.